guys, it's Thursday, April 12th. Welcome to Healthy Scratches. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks. We got YP, and we've got PITTSBURGH here with us today in a fresh-looking suit.
Thanks, I'm happy to be here.
You didn't get the
You
memo.
guys said you dress up. I dressed up.
Not dressed up like this.
The YP memo is like.
I was told you wear suit jackets, and if you think I'm wearing a suit jacket without suit pants, you must be crazy.
I mean, that's why we brought you in for a little bit of expertise. And I just want to say, we got a little Toledo Walleyes shout out today.
This whole outfit is like a masterpiece, a work of art.
YP dresses like Frankenstein from Big Daddy, but it works.
I don't really remember what he dresses like.
He's a child who gets to dress himself. That's essentially what you are.
Well, that's what Healthy Scratches are. We're not playing.
It's literally what I am. Like, I don't live at home. My girlfriend's not here. I just be like, I can wear whatever I want.
Yeah, and we can do whatever we want to, of course. Playoffs got underway yesterday. Let's begin with the Vegas Golden Knights winning their first ever playoff game in history against the LA Kings. We were pretty certain that the Kings were going to have their way with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, but Marc-Andre Fleury, I guess we kind of forgot about him and the fact that he has such a strong pedigree in just winning games. Shea Theodore gets the one and only goal. What'd you guys think about Vegas?
Oh, I can't believe we're starting to talk about the hockey game before we talk about the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. People hated that. I thought it was awesome.
Who hated it?
Oh, lots of people on the internet. Twitter.com, they hate everything.
All right, describe what the opening ceremony was for people who don't know.
Oh, it was a king out on the ice waving a king's flag, and then a golden knight comes out to dethrone the king with a sword. But the best part was they're wearing like rental skates. Like they just picked people out of the crowd. They're out there like CCM tax at best, like hammering their feet around. They couldn't really skate. It was showmanship. It was Vegas. It was perfect. They couldn't lose after that. Yeah,
and then after that, when they were coming on the ice with the giant knight head and like that, did you hear that? It was like this electric sound. It was like this
that was Roenick. Roenick running the thing up top.
Thing was
oh my God.
Roenick had like a crank just up top, just going.
Like that's playoff
wild.
Hockey. That's playoff hockey.
Yeah, that's taking it to a new level.
Like that, give it to me. Like we used to play this team, MSOE, that had a pirate ship on the other side of the ice. They were the Raiders. And every time they'd score, they had a cannon that would shoot T-shirts across the ice into the student section. And that's electric. Like, that's the place you want to play.
Well, we weren't sure what we were going to see from Vegas. We knew it was going to be wild. We knew it was going to be sold out. But as you said, PITTSBURGH, that opening ceremonies that happened, did the king get dethroned?
Yeah.
Did he get?
I don't know.
And how does that happen?
I bet against playoff Jonathan Quick. But
and they
playoff
so
Jonathan
good
Quick
last
is
night.
tough.
I thought the Kings, they didn't score, but I mean they looked.
Adrian Kempe had like an incredible shot on Fleury that he just like bounced the puck with the stick up.
That was wild.
Yeah.
He was like playing, I forget what they call curling. We go around the stick and passing it around.
I don't know if that's curling. I think that's like washing.
Hurling.
Okay.
I mean, I was pretty fucking close. You should have got that one.
I was saying curling is another ice-based sport, but not that.
All right, guys. Well, we have our insider, Sheldon Souray, who was at the game, and he had this report for us.
Here you go, Julie. Healthy Scratch, Sheldon Souray here. Marc-Andre Fleury with the shutout. First one of the Knights' postseason history. First one of his Knights' career. These guys are good. Unbelievable hockey game tonight. Unbelievable atmosphere, as you can see. I think any road to the cup is going to go through one of these two teams. So good to see these guys finally in action. The Knights are the real deal. And they're just really good, really entertaining. And what an atmosphere. Thanks for having me on. See ya.
All right, thanks so much, Shelly. That is some awesome stuff. Also, no big deal. We're just getting former NHLers on the show to file reports for Healthy Scratches. Speaking of shutout, Philadelphia Flyers did not look very good against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby with the natural hat trick, and Philly died last night.
I'm so happy. So happy Philly's back to just being a piece of shit. They were up on their high horse after the Super Bowl, and admittedly they deserved it a little bit. But Philly's a garbage town full of garbage people, and finally they're back to understanding that.
I mean, I don't think they're dead by any means. I think I think this is going to encourage them to act more Philly. If you don't think,
I'm fine with the
this
people
makes them.
more Philly.
This makes them go insane.
The team is dead.
I think they're gonna. Like last night, as soon as that game started getting out of hand, you start seeing people slashing stuff. It wasn't as bad as it could be.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Give the Penguins power plays.
They are going to try to assassinate. I mean, What do they have to lose?
It's going to get, they're going to muck it up. It's going to get real dirty. We know two of our guys are on either side of this rivalry. Let's send it over to Nick and Booze, the Heartland boys, who have a breakdown of this game.
What's up, guys? It's an extremely happy Nick and a very despondent Booze coming to you right from my couch directly after Game 1. Had to get this reaction out right away. Booze, that was so bad. 7-0 Pens win over the Flyers in Game 1. That was so bad, NBC didn't even want to show highlights or talk about, break down the game. They just shot it straight over to Winnipeg and Minnesota during the intermission.
Yeah, well...
Booze, that was so bad. It says Claude Giroux was on the ice for 17 minutes, but I don't remember seeing him touch the puck at all.
Well, I mean, when you think...
Booze, that was so bad. Chris Letang blocked a shot, and the puck broke in half.
You done? Are you finally done?
Go ahead.
Listen, this Flyers team looked horrendous tonight. All the stars that we all expect to come out and produce looked invisible all night. Not only that, fucking Dave Haxtell, I don't know where the hell he was all night. Every time they cut to him, he looked like a fart in the wind. He looked like he was at a funeral.
In many ways, he was. Might be time for a new coach next year. Something to think about.
I wish we had Coach Herb Brooks to spank this team in the friggin' ass because they need it.
You know he was a Penguins coach, right? To top it all off, Evgeny Malkin with the goal of the playoffs so far, galloping through the neutral zone. Backhander smokes Brian Elliott, and Sid Crosby, the captain himself. 3 goals on 4 shots. Hats off to you, Sid. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Nick and Booze. That was a great little recap there. You really got to feel the sense of those Flyers fans.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. And a nice shout out to Malkin's goal, which was insane, just coast to coast, and destroys Brian Elliott.
I think Crosby's first goal was better.
You think it was better than Malkin's? Yeah.
We don't count him batting it out of the air now.
That's what everyone's talking about.
Classic.
The Malkin goal. Like that goal was fucking absurd.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
I just
man?
loved how Malkin danced around everyone.
Like, that's where we're at with him. If he doesn't turn his stick over and hit it like a pool cue, from the point, it probably won't register.
But then on the other side of stuff, like Brian Elliott, man, he gets pulled in the second period.
Way too late.
Game. Way too late.
I don't know. I'm actually a fan of making a goalie or a pitcher wear it.
Yeah.
But that's a regular season move. You have to get him out of there. Pretty fucking early.
Some of those goals weren't really his fault. I mean, the back door of Brassard, it's what can he do? In what world does a guy stand back door like that and just get to tap it in? It's that's not Elliott. You know what I mean?
No,
he didn't play great, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the deal is.
He allowed 3 goals and 10 shots. At that point, you're kind of all right, bud, night's over.
I mean, if they're muffins from the neutral zone, that's one thing. The whole team got beat. It wasn't it was oh, they're playing him so hard. If it was Kings versus Knights last night, where they were just battling,
so
and
physical,
letting and stuff, that's one thing. I mean, the Flyers just got dominated.
You still maybe we don't call it letting it wear it then, but maybe just save his fucking mind and be like, okay.
Yeah,
we'll
you don't want him to be so beat down for the next game.
Yeah,
like all right, this is a wash. But apparently for some Flyers fans, this is exactly where they want the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's go to Jordy for that take.
So the Pittsburgh Penguins got the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs rolling by absolutely ass-blasting the Philadelphia Flyers 7-0 last night in the opening game of that series. It was a total shit show disaster for Philly, and a game that had plenty of Flyers fans, including myself, feel like they'd rather switch out their normal cup of Wawa coffee this morning for a gallon of bleach. But as the old saying goes, desperate times call for desperate measures, so it is time to break out a spin zone of the century right here to hopefully get some Philly fans off the ledge right now. It starts off by saying that this is exactly what is perfect about playoff hockey, all right? These series, they're not one and dones. These are 7-game series. Anything can happen over the course of 7 games. All right, so realistically, a 7-0 loss in Game 1, well, it hurts you just as much as the 3-2 loss in overtime would, so the show must go on. And with that show going on, I'm a firm believer that every team heads into the Stanley Cup playoffs with a finite amount of goals in the tank for each series. Now, obviously, some teams are going to have more goals in that tank than others, but you still only have so many to work with. Last night, the Penguins, they got extra greedy, a little too ahead of themselves. They stuffed 7 in the back of the net. That's going to put a huge dent in their goals left in the tank for the rest of the series. So, did the Pittsburgh Penguins blow their load too early? Well, that seems to be a problem with a lot of guys in Pittsburgh, so it wouldn't surprise me too much.
All right, so thank you, Jordy. Very interesting take about goals in the tank, I guess. You have seen this, though, before. I think it was the Ducks last year against the Oilers. They lost like 7-1 in one game, and then ended up coming back and they won that series. So sometimes when you do have that big loss, you just throw it out the window rather than an emotional loss, which is like overtime.
Yeah, it's almost better, honestly, because they're getting. You guys are fucking nuts. Listen, they're getting stopped. All right, it's not better.
This is embarrassing. We already know that. But
at the beginning of the game, when they first period, it was what, 4 or 5-0 after the first. It's like chalk it up almost. It's like they never had that game. Games where you're up like maybe 3-1 and they come back losing overtime. That sucks because you're going in the locker room. You're like, you feel like you've made progress in between those periods. And then all of a sudden you get your heart ripped out. It feels like 1 step forward, 3 steps back. This one, it's like,
yeah,
all right,
but you're still going in the locker room. You're like, we're right here. We're with this team. We lost in overtime. For a fan, I agree. An overtime loss hurts more. Yeah. For a player, I think you're like, look, we fucking lost in overtime, but we're just as good as a team. I'm a fucking dead person.
Yeah,
they just beat the shit out of me.
Especially when the Penguins beat them all 4 times this year.
Yeah, by 5 goals every time, right? Over 5 goals.
You're starting to be like, ooh, maybe we can't.
Maybe this team's just way fucking better than us.
Maybe they come out game 2 and get ahead, and it's like, oh, we finally figured it out. We turned the corner. I don't know. There's not a lot of good answers, but like George said, they're looking for something.
Yeah, you got to rally around something. Now, a team that had the lead that then lost it last night was the Minnesota Wild. They're up 2-1 against the Winnipeg Jets. Jets end up winning their first game in their 2.0 history. MTS Center, the whiteout was wild. You could hear
whiteout was the dumbest shit ever. If you're doing a whiteout, you got to wear white jerseys. Whiteout and blue jerseys, that's dumb.
Well, I think that the hard part is they gave them T-shirts, right? So you have people spend $300 on a jersey, but then
no, but I mean the team was wearing a blue jersey. If you have the whole fans wear whiteout, the team wears a white jersey.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I got to go back through history and see different whiteouts. Have they worn white every time?
No, I'm sure they've done it. I'm sure they've done it in a lot of different ways, but like I think if you're gonna do a whiteout, you should be wearing white jerseys.
I mean, that's
probably
a fair take.
World, but
yeah,
I mean,
fair
we're
take.
in Canada, Winnipeg. It's like, let's just.
Yeah, they're raring to go. It's interesting because when you watch the game, it was so quiet, and people were saying, "Oh, it's not that wild there." And going all these different barns, like some of these Canadian barns, they're so quiet because they're watching everything. Like everyone's on pins and needles. And then, of course, when Laine scores, when Scheifele scores, the place is electric when they win.
Jets, we're leaving out Joe Morrow. I got straight from
Joe
Tyler
Morrow.
Seguin. He's a fucking stud.
He is a stud.
Joe Morrow,
you don't get traded for Tyler Seguin if you're a nobody.
No, and this series was this game at least was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I still think the Jets have the edge in this series, but it was a great first game.
I mean, the Wild are. I don't think it was ever going to be blowouts in the sense that like the Penguins blew out the Flyers. I mean, the Wild are so well rounded. Mm-hmm. Every line has guys that can really play, like Charlie Coyle, him and Greenway, line. Oh my God, that kid's a stud. I'm like jealous, like that. He's going to be a big time player for them. But I mean, in the end, it's like the physical play that the Jets, Bufflin just taking people's heads off. I felt bad for Eriksson Ek there. No one wants to be on the tracks.
That's terrifying.
When big buffs come through. It's just, he could have got injured.
I think his head made first contact with the ice.
Oh.
Like that, you got fucking smoked when your force is going down so hard, your head is the first thing to hit the ice.
I mean, dude, but like, what can you do? Just stay away from him.
Yeah.
Like if I was out, it's like just pass it and skate to the bench. Like, he's going to hurt someone.
Yeah, well, Devin Dubnyk, he was pretty good. I mean, 37 saves. Connor Hellebuyck only had to make 18, so
but
kind of a difference there. Yes, yeah,
I mean, he definitely, like, Dubnyk stood on his head more, I think, but I mean, Hellebuyck was there when they needed him. It's like, playoff hockey, it doesn't always matter about all, like, the statistics, like 40, but it's the big ones that matter, and he was there.
That can kind of sway the momentum. All right, let's go to Barstool Chief, who's got the pulse on this game and some other stuff in the Western Conference.
All right, night one is in the books, and Minnesota, you dummies. What are you thinking? You can't beat the Jets at their own game. They're too big, they're too fast, they're too strong, they're too good. You can't run around and try to hit them and try to outskate them. Box it in, play it in tight, do that boring Minnesota Wild shit. That's your only chance to beat them. They outskated you, outplayed you all night long. And then even with that, you had a 2-1 lead late in the third. This was your one chance to make this a series, to get in the series, to steal home ice, and you blew it. You blew it, just like the Minnesota Wild do every year. I drank it in. I loved it. I love when Minnesota falls on their face in the playoffs. You set your watch to it. It was great last night. I think the series is over. I think the Wild might get one at home, but it's going to be Jets in 5. They're too good. They're a nasty team. That crowd was great. I'm really excited for Jets Preds in the next round because it is basically over.
Some great insight there from Ryan, aka Barstool Chief. Some big predictions there that the Wild are done. Also, some interesting games on the docket tonight. As he mentioned, we've got Colorado and Nashville, as well as Anaheim, San Jose. We have Columbus and Washington. Philip Grubauer gets the start for the Caps. And we got Devils and Lightning. Steven Stamkos is apparently back for that. And fights. What else do we got?
Got my boy.
We got Tuukka.
Tuukka.
We got the Leafs.
I hope I don't look fat.
Tuukka fucking
I'm
ras.
sucking in right now pretty hard.
This is going to be a very good matchup.
Not that bad. I don't think it looks bad. And look at the knee. If you really want to see, then put your knee down. Let's get a direct shot.
Yeah, so we got Bruins and Leafs. This is a nice little rematch from 2013. Of course, Fights remembers it very differently than I
cried.
do.
That was I think that was the
cried
last hockey
too.
game I ever cried at.
Really?
Yeah, I was teared up. It was a very emotional time in Boston. The marathon had just happened. It was a real
Yeah, I mean, that was a
emotional
cool
time.
game.
Yeah.
They said.
That was a real tough one for me.
What are
I
you
knew
most
it.
worried about with the Leafs? Because everyone's like, oh,
Freddie
I don't
Anderson.
give a fuck. I'm the Boston.
Yeah, what are you worried about with the Leafs?
Freddie Anderson. What's his record? 10-1 against the Bruins.
I don't
Okay.
know. Stats, that's
So
a lot of stats.
Freddie,
We're
It's
gonna
one.
fact check that.
is there anything else?
As they say on Spin Chicklets, that could have been an RA fact.
Oh yeah. No, it's not. It's a fact. But and it's a scary one. But no. Aside from that, I'm not worried about anything at all. The Leafs are fucking awesome. But Tuukka Rask, it's his year. It's a Stanley Cup year for Tuukka Rask. There's fucking no denying that.
I hope so.
I think this is
You
going to
do?
be a
Because
real...
I believe you tweeted that you hope the Leafs win.
No, I mean, I'm saying I hope we can sell more shirts and you can prosper, but I
Yeah,
don't
we're
know
going
if
to
that
need
may
to
be
get
the
some
case.
kind of other shirt going. We have the sorry one, but
There's just too many weapons. The Leafs are
The
so
thing is,
loaded, man.
the Leafs are really loaded. I'm interested to see how Matthews and Bergeron line up against one another. Everyone's saying the Leafs defense isn't as great as Boston's. That's I don't know, that could be true or not. But they're so stacked. This is gonna go. I think this goes 7. And in case it goes 7, I will be needing to go
No,
get
it's gonna go
lucky
6.
rabbits.
The Leafs
feet.
are stacked, but like we just
I
keep
think-
saying the Leafs are stacked. So are the Boston Bruins.
Yeah,
I
they
know
are,
that's
but
the
I
thing.
think,
like,
They're both
top to
stacked.
bottom.
They're both stacked.
I mean, yeah, I think also Babcock and like the matchup games that are going to go on as far as like, is Matthews going to be just shadowed by Patrice Bergeron, or are they going to be able to get him loose,
Yeah.
get Kadri on him? It's like, there's a lot more to it that I think Babcock could definitely give him an edge in that scenario.
Fair.
I like
Babcock
that.
has a coaching edge.
I like that. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this day's episode of Healthy Scratches. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Thanks, Fights, for joining us.
You bet.
Oh, we're not doing the thing anymore?
Oh, we do the thing?